let's do this take one of my activity one. So I'm actually going to go into explaining the one method first before I demonstrate it. So the one I picked was the artists, get artists access point. So you start at the router. The router takes your requests, and we're setting a get request to dash artists when we request, where it lists all the artists. So that will find our request, send it to the appropriate controller method. So over here in the controller, wrong controller. That's album controller, artist controller. There we go. We only have one method, read artists. So what that's going to do is it's going to attempt to wait for the artist data object to read the artist, and the data access object is the object that accesses the data. So over here we have basically it's just going to take an artist interface right here. Hold on, which just shows the format of an artist, the object, and it's going to build the read artists, the full read artists method anyway. Is going to build us a list of them. You can also have one to get just one or whatever. But yeah, in this instance, we're going to get a list of artists. And we're going to get that by executing our query, which is here in our queries. So I'll read artists, and that's SQL. So this is the SQL statement that's going to get sent to our SQL server to retrieve the data. So that was kind of a backwards explanation of it. So really the data, from the data perspective, the data is going to go from SQL to here up to here, put into data access object, and then we'll have a list of all our objects, which gets returned to the controller, which once it gets we're waiting for that to come back, because that does take some time. So we'll respond with the artists, or if we never get it, we'll respond with an error message, but we'll respond with the artists to the where is it? To the router. Yeah. So that's that's the one I decided to go into. I'll run my Postman stuff here. So our two get methods real quick. Got albums. Bam, there we go. There's all our albums. We'll get our artists. And there's all our artists. Somebody likes the Beatles. Let's see. Let me see. Go to my routes method real quick and see what all we have to do. So we can also albums slash. Okay, so we're going to get albums by artists, or read albums by artist. The space Beatles. There we go. There's all the albums created by the Beatles, which just so happens to be all of them in this case. And we can do a search by artist, which this is just going to be the same, but it also works. And we can search by description. We'll just get everything with the phrase hi in it. And there we go. Hi is somewhere in here. Okay. We're actually going to copy this. Okay, actually we have it. So these, as we go from gets into other kinds of HTTP requests, we're going to have bodies. So we're actually going to be sending data. So route post albums for create album. Okay. So we go to albums, and these are being weird. So if we try to post albums, we don't need ID, that's auto-generated. So this should be all the data we have to send, and we send, and we get an error message because these are not working for me, and I have no idea why. As far as I'm aware, my code looks exactly like what's in the assignment, and I've read through it. I see no reason it isn't working. So I'm gonna have to ask you about this in class on Tuesday. But this is submitted tonight, so I submit tonight. Sorry. And then I'll just make attempts at all the other ones as well. So this one actually, you are supposed to have an ID. This is gonna fail, but this one theoretically would change album number 1. Or I think it's just ID. Yeah, it's just ID. This would change album number 1 to this from what it is, but it doesn't. It gives us an error message. And then delete. There it is. This would delete album number 1. But of course, it doesn't, because of course it doesn't. So yeah, that's my activity 1. That's what I managed to do. I will be asking you about this in class on Tuesday. So we can look forward to that. But thank you for watching.